Alright, I've been wanting to watch this video. I saw it recommended for me, and I'm super excited about this game. Let's
The
do it.
Wizarding World is finally an
graphics.
open one. I get it, but there's way more to the new Harry Potter game than that. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 things you need to know about Hogwarts Legacy. Starting off with number 10, there is a seamless open world. Now, for me, and probably a lot of people, one of the most intriguing aspects about this game is it'll let you explore the world of Harry Potter and the Hogwarts School.
That's honestly probably the biggest thing I'm excited for is explore Hogwarts, see all the secret passageways and tunnels, you know, go to Hogsmeade, everything like that. I'm so, again, like the Forbidden Forest, I'm just excited to just chill and just fly around, and just the graphics in this game I think are so good that just exploring for the first time is going to be amazing.
A bit skeptical about how open the world was actually going to be, but the two recent gameplay showcases proved me wrong. You can go from your dorm to the main hall of Hogwarts to an outside cliff. You can start flying through the air into
look
the
at that.
surrounding
That looks
environment
crazy.
seamlessly, no loading screens, and it's pretty awesome because barely any open world games really have detailed interiors, especially without loading screens. Oh, it ain't like that.
Oh my god, the Red Dead Redemption 2 loading screens were so long. I played on PlayStation 4, and those loading screens, especially when starting the game, like for the first time, each day, whatever, it took like a minute plus. It was
The thing
crazy.
I really liked from the presentation is how much the devs emphasize that you can go there. Like, if it's visible, it's accessible. Like, a bridge in the distance isn't a decoration. You can actually get up there.
Oh, it's from the movies.
The Owlery
That's
you
all
can
from
see
the
in
movies,
distance
but
looks like it's on an inaccessible cliff.
that looks
hey,
cool.
Remember you could friggin' fly with the broom? Yeah. In terms of world size, we know you can freely explore Hogwarts and the nearby village of Hogsmeade, along with various other little towns and villages dotted around the nearby countryside.
That's awesome.
The devs swear that Hogwarts was made to make sense, so it's hopefully not too complicated to get around once you're used to it. But there's also a fast travel system that looks pretty handy as well. Another nice thing the devs confirmed.
I usually don't fast travel, depending on the game. Like in Red Dead Redemption 2, I think the horse riding in that game was just so fun, and the world was so alive and vibrant that I never fast traveled at all. I was just always riding my horse, and no matter where I was going, it was just so fun to do that. And I think the same is true for like racing games in general. Like I don't know if you could fast travel like in, I don't know, the last racing game I played, like Forza, I usually don't fast travel. Like the Need for Speed games, I don't really fast travel just because the driving is really fun in that game. Obviously, this game, if the flying is good, then I probably won't fast travel. But just like getting in between Hogwarts and just like walking around, I probably will. But that's just something to think about.
Gameplay showcases that once the open world becomes available a little while in the story, you can go everywhere. There's no restrictions on it other than like your level. Like, you can probably get killed quickly in certain spots, but you can go there. You're
that makes
asking
sense.
for a world of pain by going there, but you can go there.
You just start off like year one, like 10 years old. You're just like on your way to the Forbidden Forest right after you get your house.
Stuff does sound a little expected. There's quests you can take on from random people. There's puzzles you can solve, ancient ruins, blah, blah, blah.
That's
There's also
awesome.
wild beasts you can rescue from poachers and outposts containing bandits and goblin hideouts. Yeah, you gotta have bandit camps. Nothing you can do about it. This is an open world game. As far as I can tell,
The animations look so fun. I think that's going to be really important for the combat to be like satisfying, is that the animations feel good for most of the spells, and if the sound effects feel good too. Like having those in sync will just make the combat better. I'm not expecting the combat to be great. I hope that this game's priority and focus is on story, because that's what the whole Hogwarts and Harry Potter universe like excels at, is the story. So if they can kind of just like build upon that, that'd be really nice.
Massive is a lot of open world games, but it's more dense, and I'm hoping that makes exploration a lot more rewarding. At number 9, this is not a Hogwarts simulator. Might be disappointing for some people, but it's good the devs pulled that band-aid off.
Yo, imagine if it was. Imagine this game in VR. You got, okay, this game in VR with like a Wii remote as your wands. Dude, they're missing
put
out.
forward correct expectations. During the gameplay showcase, they explained how classes work, and it's not like Persona, where you take classes and things are split up in a day section. It's not Bully, where you're expected to take certain classes at certain times. The game just has basic quest structure, split into chapters. During each chapter, you got your main quest, side quests, and classes. During class, you learn new spells, but it sounds like these classes are basically functional as quests, and they become available by progressing through the story. So there is a day and night system, but your class progression is basically static. So basically, do classes when you want to. Some of them are optional. Certain classes are required because you definitely need those spells.
Gotta go to the dueling club.
Along the way, you'll find additional tasks you can do for classes, which earn optional spells.
I can't wait to be in Slytherin and just start using all the dark magic. I don't know what that says about me, but I really just want to be a Death Eater in this game. Obviously, Death Eaters weren't around 300 years before Harry Potter, but I want to be a dark wizard.
And brings you more lore. They briefly showed the house ranking hourglass, which is important in the books, but in game, not really that important. Story-wise serves a purpose, but otherwise doesn't really do anything. It's not a meta game where the highest house rank is important or anything like that. Long story short, not a sim, at least when it comes to school. Pretty much works like most open world games, very quest-oriented. And that might be disappointing for some people, but the devs were upfront about it and didn't try to imply the game was more complicated than it actually is. We're looking at you.
I think that's good. I don't think the game should be overly complex. A lot of games nowadays, especially RPGs, are just like, there's a lot of different systems involved with them, and I think those can add to the gameplay, but a lot of times they can just be overly complicated and take away. And like, I feel like Harry Potter should be more, or Hogwarts Legacy should be more of like a casual game, if that makes sense.
2077, and I actually think that's refreshing. Overselling is really, really annoying. At number 8 is Brooms and Mounts. The second gameplay showcase gave us basically our best look on how flying works in the game, and it looks pretty fun. As long as you're outside, it looks like you can call a broom and start flying. You can't just fly wherever you want from the start. There's a meter at the bottom of the screen, shows how high you can go, and the further you go up in a broom, the lower that gets.
I'm not expecting this to be like super fleshed out or anything. I think it's gonna be like fun to explore, but I don't think that the flying itself, I think it's probably gonna get old a little fast. It depends. I wish they would add like Quidditch in this game. That'd be really cool. I could play like a sport like hockey or FIFA or something like that. But you know, we'll just have to see.
So you can't go nuts flying as high as you want right from the start, but you can upgrade the broom at a store in Hogsmeade, which can increase your altitude and make it so you can fly faster, etc. And you can customize it as well, because, I mean, no broom is complete until it's got a chromed out exhaust system,
Nice.
right? Don't expect that.
That's the firebolt right there.
One disappointing confirmation we've known for a while is that there is no Quidditch. Devs confirmed it's just not there at all.
I feel like there should be like a DLC they could possibly add later down the line. I think Quidditch would be just really fun. Like, you could pick your role. You could play like a bludger or a beater or whatever. You could be a seeker or a chaser or the guy that protects the goalpost. That would be really fun. And then they can even add maybe like multiplayer to that. That's a big if. I doubt that's ever gonna happen, but I mean, maybe mods could do it. Also, speaking of mods, is mod support for this game? Because I feel like if it was, that would be huge for this game. I think it'll eventually come out, but mod support, I think, could add a lot of different cool quests. Like, you look at Harry Potter RP servers, like look at GTA RP, Red Dead Redemption R2 RP. That could be hilarious and really fun. They could add new spells to the game, new gear, all kinds of stuff. I really hope mod support comes out in this game within like a year. Maybe after the deal. I'm sure this game will have DLC, but maybe after like the first DLC, they could add that. But
again,
we'll
might
see.
be disappointing for people, but again, at least they said they established proper expectation. There are mounts, at least creatures you can fly on, like hippogriffs or griffins. They don't have height limitations, but they're slower. One cool feature is that they don't just fly. We actually saw a hippogriff being ridden like a horse before transitioning to flying. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And number 7 might sound boring, like a lot of things, but the gameplay showcase finally revealed what the game looks like in action. So that means we have seen the UI, and that gives a lot of clues about how the game's going to play. See, I gave you a good reason to care about the UI, didn't I? So let's run down these.
I think UI is important in a lot of games. It's a bad UI. It's just it's a hassle. Looking at you, Warzone 2.
What probably think stands out most for people is the minimap. Instead of the compass a lot of RPGs use now, this game has an old-fashioned...
I think for RPGs, having it minimalistic, like Elden Ring UI is like really nice. And this looks nice. There's not too much in the middle of your screen. It's like the bottom. But it's also there. You could probably customize it too, like the sizes and stuff.
All the collectibles and quest markers on it. Now, there are players that don't like those, and you can apparently turn that off. So, yeah. Next to the minimap is this potion, which is apparently a magical tool that can assist in combat. Use it by pressing L1. You hold down L1, opens the tool wheel, and you can select different items to slot in there. On the right-hand side of the screen is the spell diamond, which shows all your available spells. This is where you slot in spells. You can use...
I wonder how this game is going to feel on PC, on like mouse and keyboard. I feel like it's mostly going to be optimized for controller, which is why I'm going to be playing this game on controller. A lot of times, these type of games just feel awful on PC. Like Elden Ring just does not feel good on PC at all. Yeah, definitely have to play that game on controller. So I'm imagining this one is going to be kind of similar.
On the fly from a selection of over 20 possible ones. By releasing R2, you cast a basic spell. Well, if you hold down, the spell diamond opens up and you can press a face button to cast some other spell. Sounds fairly simple, right? Well, there's multiple spell diamonds you can unlock by progressing through the game.
Okay.
You can cycle between them freely. So by the end, you should be able to choose up to 16 spells in combat. Might take a little getting used to because you switch diamonds by pressing right and left on the D-pad while holding R2. Gives you a lot.
The one thing, like, this spell system would feel better on mouse and keyboard if there were keybinds. Instead of rotating through different UI cycles, you could just have all 16 spells keybound, and it would just be so much smoother. So maybe it will be good on mouse and keyboard, but that's only if you can keybind. So we'll have to see. I hope they really thought about that, and that's the case, but I have doubts. A lot of times they don't really think about PC players when it's a console port.
A lot of access to a lot of spells. Beside the spell diamond, there's a green health bar. Number beside it is your healing item count. You can use them during battle to restore health. Kind of reminds me of BioShock, weirdly enough. Above the heart bar, final part of the UI, the ancient magic meter, which I'll explain in more detail in just a moment. All in all, the UI makes it look like switching between spells should be easy, but we will have to see how it works in practice when we actually get our hands on the game. At number 6, combat was another big question mark before the gameplay deep dives.
Yeah.
We do have a much better idea now. It's kind of Arkham, but in Harry Potter. Kind of an oversimplification, but maybe not as much as you might think. In combat, you have all these spells. They serve different functions. Direct attack spells. They do damage. Force spells knock enemies around. Control spells. The debuff for trap enemies.
Yeah, there's a lot of different builds that I know there's talent trees, so having a lot of different builds could be really cool. Like, I think having like a build where you can like turn objects into like animals and like have like a minion build or something could be fun. I'm gonna be a dark wizard, you know, so I'm going all dark arts. If that's like a skill tree, like the dark arts is a skill tree, I'm maxing that ish out.
Each one of these has a cooldown, which is longer or shorter depending on the strength of the spell. The basic attack doesn't really have a cooldown, while the one-hit spell can take a long time to recharge. Defense moves, you gotta dodge. You can deflect, it's bound to Y or triangle by default. Basically Batman's counter button. When you tap it, it just blocks. You hold it down, you'll counterattack and stun the enemy temporarily. While you're doing all this, you're building up a combo. Combos cause these blue orbs to drop off. A meter builds up. You can unleash a powerful attack by pressing R1 and L1. And yeah, that might sound a little unique, but in practice it looks a lot like an Arkham game, except for punching is not the thing you're doing, you're casting spells. How satisfying or fun this will end up being, it's really hard to say. I'll say that it looks a lot better than what they were showing in the original reveal. Along with all that, there's magical tools that give you an edge in battle. Plants, interesting. You can throw them and they work like allies.
Oh, that's really cool.
Like a turret, one that can stun enemies by screaming very loudly. There's also a stealth aspect to the game, although they haven't really showed a whole lot of it. Probably pretty minor, but you can turn invisible and do takedowns.
I wish there was like an invisibility cloak. I hope they like implement like the Deathly Hallows items somehow, maybe in a DLC or something, because those are around, you know, before Harry Potter, and like I just want to get the Elder Wand. That's like, because there's gear in this game, so I just want to get the best gear, and if the Elder Wand's in the game, maybe you could have like the best stats but you could also have like cool like passives tied to it, like kind of like a legendary item, like in World of Warcraft or something. So like maybe if you get like, I don't know, 10 combo points, you get like a shadow more effect around you. Or and if you're like if you're a good wizard, it's like glowing like yellow, like kind of like a halo or something. And then if you're an evil wizard, it glows like red. And then maybe you could just like shoot out automatically at enemies. Like the potential and possibilities for this game is so high, and that's why I'm like so hyped about it. I can't wait to play this game.
It's on unaware enemies, so it's not gonna be non-stop combat. Hopefully it's all good. At number 5 is the Room of Requirement. The gameplay showcase gave us a good look at the Room of Requirement. Basically an area you can craft, upgrade, customize, etc.
Okay.
Probably the most impressive thing about the trailers is it's not really menu driven, it's more seamless. You do it as your characters. You conjure up tables, chairs, objects, etc. Along with being able to change their orientation.
That's really cool, because I think crafting is kind of boring in most RPGs.
Object color and size, which is more than you'd expect. There's a potion, crafting
I'm not into
table,
that stuff, but
table. There's a loom. There's a
I know a lot of people are.
aquarium for beasts. The devs were a little cagey. Apparently, you can rescue animals from poachers and take them to the aquarium thing. They're not just for show. They can give you crafting materials if they're happy. So,
wait. If they're happy, okay. So this is like Stardew Valley. You just gotta pet your dragon horse every day, and then they just like they give you stuff like eggs. You know, maybe they drop some eggs, or you can milk your dragon horse for magical milk.
I don't think it's like a Tamagotchi style animal raising sim. I think you're kind of just giving the creatures food and petting them. And that's, I don't know, maybe that's kind of Tamagotchi like. I don't know. It's been a long time. You can upgrade the vivarium, as it is called, like getting a food processor to automatically.
Dude, this is Stardew Valley. That should be a Stardew Valley. That'd be so cool.
The vivarium gets bigger too. You progress through the game, new rooms open up, etc. It's cool.
I want a bunch of house elves. Honestly, house elves are the cutest animals. Just kidding. But I want a house elf. Like, creature in the books is hilarious. I want like a sassy house elf that just chills in the Room of Requirement and is just like really passive aggressive to me on everything I do.
And number 4, character creation. In the first gameplay showcase, we got a pretty good look at the character customization.
I can't. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so fun.
But there is some worthwhile stuff to talk about. It's fairly limited at first. You can change the face shape.
I haven't seen any of this.
Sliders. There's a fair amount of options, but it doesn't look like you can make a horrible freak, which for some is less than appealing. Along with the face, you can give the character class.
I want to look like my Elden Ring character. My Elden Ring character is beautiful.
Choose from a selection of hairstyles, eye color, eyebrow shape. You finalize on a male and female voice, 1 of 4 standard difficulty levels. Give your character.
Oh, wait, let's go back to that real quick. Okay, so the story, easy, normal, and hard. I think I'm gonna play on hard. Yeah, we're playing hard mode.
Standard difficulty levels, give your character a name, and select your dorm, either witch or wizard. The devs explained that while some options like hair can be changed later to barbershop, most it's kind of locked, so you're stuck with whatever face you pick. You also pick which house you're part of, not necessarily during the character creator, but in the story.
Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking it'd be cool if like you could have the option to either just outright pick your house, or if you could like take like one of those, like, you know how those websites have those like those tests to see what house you belong in based on your choices. So, like, you know, would you rather are you more of an introvert or an extrovert? When were you born? What's your astrology sign? And like they just use like all that data to like, okay, you're in Ravenclaw or you're in Gryffindor. I think that having that option in the game would have been really fun.
Still a big part of it though.
That way it's like more like, it's kind of like the movies and the books where you don't know what you're gonna get. It's kind of based on your personality a little bit. Even though obviously I want to be entirely accurate, it would still be fun.
Though it doesn't sound like house affects it too much. Like, you don't have to be evil if you're Slytherin, but there may be some
yeah, you do.
locked behind
I am
the house you choose. How much? Don't know yet. At number 3, you can't have a Harry Potter game without some companions. Along with the many characters you can take quests from, there's a few important people you get to know on a more personal level. Devs have been not so loud about how they'll actually work, but we know there will be characters from at least some of the time that ask for your help and accompany you during missions. They can also apparently help expand abilities like Sebastian Sallow. Sounds like he has a close association with the dark arts. Poppy Sweeting, closely associated with Beasts, etc.
All right.
I don't
I gotta
know
talk to that
if
guy.
there are characters that are a lot more elaborate than quest givers, though the devs did say that helping out certain characters affects the world and may even change the ending. So apparently multiple endings confirmed, but apparently there aren't really
multiple
any
endings
huge choices in the game. So we'll see exactly what.
One thing, I said this in my video about Harry Potter, I wish this game was like Fable, in the regard that your choices were like on a meter, so if you had there was like a good choice and an evil choice, and if it was a good choice, you would get like rank points into like a goodness meter. So you over time you like grow like a halo. You'd have like this aura around you. I think Fable 3 had like wings that would grow, and then if you were evil, you know, you had these flies that buzz around you. You grew horns, and you just had like this darkish red aura around you. I think that would be really cool. And Fable is the only game series I know that implemented this. I wish more RPGs would do this sort of thing, because it's just another like layer of progression that's not tied to talent trees or builds or items, but it's tied to like your decisions you make based on the story in the game, which is really unique.
What that means when it comes out. At number 2, the story. What we know so far of this is that it's set in the 1800s, which is obviously way before Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Most of the characters are different. Some characters who were around back then.
Yo, I hope Peeves is in the game. I forgot that the ghost's been around for a while, right? So Peeves is so fun in the books.
We know from the Harry Potter series.
Yeah, what's he holding? Is that like a liver or something? Is this the Liver King in Harry Potter?
Nick are there. Headmaster Black is played by Simon Pegg. You're a 5th-year student in your first year of Hogwarts. While there, you learn about ancestors, a special kind of magic you have called ancient magic. There's a goblin rebellion, which is actually being pushed by dark wizards, I guess. The trailers try to present these things as separate, but like obviously the goblin rebellion is just the start and the real enemies of the dark wizards. And it all has something to do with your character's ancient magic. And
that's
finally,
pretty cool.
Release dates, bonuses, etc. Game is coming out February 10th for PS5 and Xbox Series and PC. Last gen ports hitting in April. Nintendo Switch coming out July 25th. But I'll believe it when I see it. All right. Game is getting some PlayStation exclusive content like haptic feedback and adaptive triggers.
I don't like this. I don't like that. Like, if you get the game on PS5, there's like a quest line that you can only play if you get it on PS5, and then it's coming out a year later for everybody else. Like, why a year? I mean, yeah, if they want to make more money by doing these deals with Sony, like whatever, but a whole year? Like, first off, they shouldn't be doing them in general, and it maybe like a month.
There's a PlayStation.
Like, you're just like, it's so stupid.
Quest called the Haunted Hogsmeade Shop, and it doesn't seem like there's any microtransactions. The website's FAQ says it doesn't have
awesome.
any. That doesn't mean they can't nickel and dime you with some DLC and platform exclusive content, but hey, better than loading it up with a battle pass and a real money shot. There is a deluxe edition that includes the Dark Arts pack, and they were shilling hard for that, the second gameplay.
If you're debating on which one to get, I think the best value is the deluxe edition, because you get the game 3 days early. You get to play the game on the 7th instead of the 10th. You get the Thestral mount. You get the Dark Arts Battle Arena, which I guess you don't get if you get the regular edition. And you get this cosmetic set. And it's only $10 more. So I think all of those things accumulate for $10. Obviously, it's subjective to everybody. But I'm going to get the deluxe edition.
Showcase, but the real selling point is it gets you 72 hours early access to the game. These kinds of early release plans seem to run into problems in our experience, but hey, if you want to get the game as early as possible, the option is there. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click
that was a good video. Let me guys know what you think about in the comments below about this video. I'm going to be streaming this game on the 7th, February 7th. So if you want to tune into the stream, check it out. I also have a Harry Potter video I just came out with going over this game and everything. So That was a good video. I'm so hyped for this game. Let me know what house you're gonna play. I'm playing Slytherin. I want to be evil. And if you're any Gryffindors in the chat, yo, come at me. Just kidding. I'm out to go, guys. Peace.